And we welcome you back to Big Board Sports. We're coming up on a busy weekend for the Union men's hockey team. They're in Cincinnati. They will play my beloved Penn State Nittany Lions on Saturday at 4:30, round one of the NCAA tournament. The head coach is Rick Bennett, and he's been down this road before, but it's still hard to get back. But the body of work, despite a loss last weekend in Lake Placid in the semifinals, earns this Union team a at-large bid into the NCAA tournament. Coach, thanks for a few minutes. And, again, it's not an every-year thing, so I'm sure you are more than happy to make a return trip to the NCAA tournament.
No, and it's not. It's quite an honor. The players earned this. I'm not going to say deserved it. We feel that they earned it throughout the season. So as far as the venue of where we're going, it doesn't matter. We could, if they want to place, a street hockey game out in the back parking lot, that's what we'll do. If the NCAA would allow that, but we're not caught up in the venue or this now. We're more caught up in what we need to do to be successful against Penn State here.
Coach, I know you weren't thrilled with the team's performance overall last weekend in Lake Placid in the semifinals, but I'm always one of those guys, next play, next drop of the puck, move on. How much did you look at the film? You've had a week to get ready and to get rid of that game and move on to the next one, which is this weekend. So what's the mindset of your team after a week off here and getting ready for Penn State?
Well, first, we practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll practice today. We'll practice every day before that game Saturday. It's been a lot more business-like, the three practices that we've had here this week, which is nice to see. And hopefully that continues up until the game time. And it's really going to come down to, is our 200-foot game better than their, 200-foot game? Because they're an extremely fast team that really gets after it, and almost like watching the Pittsburgh Penguins a bit.
We're talking with head coach Rick Bennett. It is Union and Penn State in Cincinnati on Saturday at 4:30. A Penn State team that really just 5 years ago got Division I hockey rolling. Been a club sport for a very long time, but in a short period of time, they have done a pretty good job, but it's still their first trip to the NCAA tournament. What's your thoughts on the matchup with Penn State?
Well, they create a really tough challenge because they're different than a lot of teams in the fact that they really like to get up and go and play just like it's a high-octane offensive team. And what I mean by that is they want to get out of that defensive zone as quickly as they can, and they got 4 or 5 guys joining the rush, and they're putting as many pucks on your net as possible. They average, I think probably the league high is country high, like 45 shots a game. And that's an awful lot. Now, how many of those are, quality or grade A chances? Probably anywhere in 15 to maybe 20 at max. But still, it just creates a tough matchup because they're just trying to get pucks to your net to create chaos.
You have to be aware constantly, right?
Yeah, as we say in hockey, you have to have your head on a swivel, split vision. You just, sometimes there's going to be some breakdowns, so you have to be on the defensive side of the puck, in case one of your teammates is not doing his job. So sometimes you're going to have the dual responsibilities of not only watching your man, but being on the defensive side and maybe helping out your teammate here.
Coach Bennett, let's talk about offense because scoring goals obviously will be a difference maker here, and your team all year has been able to put the puck in the net. A couple of tremendous lines, obviously, and we know the star players in those lines. But the ability to come into this tournament with a win and move on, lose you're out, and your ability to score goals. How big of a deal is that going into this one-game format here on Saturday?
Well, yeah, it's very nice to have, some guys that can put the puck in the back of the net, but that's a night-to-night, day-to-day, whatever time you're playing, execution. Like, that's all about the execution. And, if those guys are off, we need our third and fourth lines and maybe a couple defensemen really chipping in. And you know what? When this team is going, it has that everyone's contributing. But at the same token, to get to your question, we need those lead singers. And basically what I mean by that is Shane Gostisbehere back in the day was a lead singer. Right? He just took over. And, he didn't need any backup singers. He just took over. And we need that. We need that from Mike Vecchione, Spencer Fu, Jeff Taylor, Alex Zakharopoulos. So the list kind of goes on, but we really need people to step up.
Coach, you have somebody similar to Gostisbehere this year in Vecchione. How much will you ride him going into Saturday?
I felt that Lake Placid was an eye-opener for Mike, but he also got us here, along with a few other guys, in the fact that he had some big-time goals for this program this past year. Some overtimes. I don't know if it gets any bigger than a penalty shot in playoffs to get us to Lake Placid. Now, there was a lot that happened within that game at Princeton, but, that moment was as big as it gets. And Mike delivered. And to me, that's a lead singer. Like, that's a guy that just basically takes the mic, belts out the tunes, and sells the place out.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Good luck to your team this weekend. We'll be following. Ashley Miller is in Cincinnati. We have coverage all weekend long. Hope you get to Sunday, and I guess hope get to the Frozen Four in Chicago. But thanks for a few minutes, Coach Bennett, here on Big Board Sports.
Yeah, thank you very much for supporting Union Hockey.